Hello. How you guys doing? It is Thursday, 1 o'clock, and we are back for our second half of the award predictions. I think this week is going to be a little bit better than last week. I think I'm a little bit more ready for what I'm talking about. Just give me a second. So I hope all you guys are doing well. We're going to be talking about the Western Conference, and then we're also going to be talking about my awards, sleepers, teams that I think are going to. I mean, you guys already know the teams are going to shock the world, but just sleeper picks, players to break out, players to have a good season. So if we get started now, the West, I feel like is a lot better than the East. It's like there's more championship contenders. I think the winner of the championship will come out the West, no matter who it is. Um, it's almost felt like it's been like that the last couple of years, even though there have been Eastern Conference champions. But I just think the West keeps getting better every year because the star players who are on the teams that are have the best roster are getting better. So the first seed, with no surprise, they dominated last year. I got the Thunder. Thunder are only getting more experienced. They pretty much kept it around the same team. I think that there's no room, like unless there's injuries, I don't see them having a fall off in terms of winning. They play defense at an all-time level. I just can't see a world where they're not fully healthy and they're not the one seed by a pretty good margin. I have them winning 64 games. 4 wins less than last year. I'm just accounting for kinda teams getting better and one-way victories or one-score victories to just change, but it's not gonna change the fact that they're gonna be dominant. They might have last year, they had, like, a top 5 net rating of all time. It might be something similar. Like, there's no surprise after the 1 seed. For me, the 2 seed, I have the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets arguably had one of the best off seasons. From having a team that was strictly heavily focused on having Jokic on the court when he wasn't on, it just went bad. They got their depth. They um wow, they give me a second. Okay, so they replaced Michael Porter Jr. with Cam Johnson. That's a good fit. Cam Johnson's a 3 and D guy. Jokic is getting him open looks, more open than he's ever been in his whole career. Um, Aaron Gordon, he showed himself in the playoffs. Jamal Murray, Christian Brown getting older, getting better. Jokic still the best player on the planet, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure a consensus opinion, Jokic is when he's on the court, especially in the regular season, there's no one competing with him. They brought back Bruce Brown. They got Jonas Valanciunas as a backup. Payne Watson's getting older. Julian Strawther's getting older. Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench. They're more the depth is better, and I feel more confident about them making a playoff run. If, in my opinion, the Thunder and the Nuggets are the 2 best teams in the league, and I just think it's not close. I can't say it's not close because the West is so good, but I think it's the 1-2, and then there's a tier gap in terms of championship contenders. I think I can't see there's no. Oh, I thought I just deleted the ranking. I just don't see a way that is not them 2 in the conference finals unless there's injuries, of course. The coaching, they both have excellent coaching. I think the Nuggets will surprisingly be a good defense. They always really have been, just not to the level of the Thunder. But I think despite, I think they're gonna be the best offense in the league. When, of course, we're not like firing on all cylinders. There's always dry points and stuff like that. But the Nuggets, I have them winning 58 games. It kind of gives me flashbacks to like 2023, where they didn't like obviously they had Jokic on the court, but they had players to come off the bench, score, facilitate, play defense. They have all that. They've just revamped and honestly, congrats on the GM. He saved himself a job. Mike Malone got fired. David Adelman coached his ass off in the playoffs, or coached his butt off in the playoffs. 3 seed, probably the biggest shocker, despite the news of LeBron being injured. I still had the Lakers being the 3 seed. The West is more stacked, but this is not uh my opinion on the team as a whole. This is my opinion on how good a top heavy team can be in the regular season. We see it all the time. We see teams who dominate the regular season. They come in and then every night they dominate. They put up points. They score. They outscore teams. They get the right stops at the right moment against teams who are lesser, who are honestly teams that aren't playoff contenders, and they cruise through. I can see the same way that the Lakers did it last year. They were pretty good in the regular season after they got Luka, let alone the fact that they got him midseason and still were good. Imagine giving him a whole offseason under the coaching staff. And I mean, Luka's his own system, but they're going to build that team around him. It's almost how the Luka and Kyrie situation happened in 2023, where they were pretty like, despite the injuries, their roster was pretty bad and they couldn't win any games. And then they gave him a whole offseason and they made the finals. The Lakers, despite losing LeBron until what, mid-November, they're still gonna be good. They're still gonna win games. Luca, Austin Reeves, they got ball handlers. They got guys who can get guys open, get guys go open looks. Any night in the regular season can be for anyone. DeAndre Ayton, yes, is not shaping out to be a good center. He doesn't like give me any hope, but I don't need hope. But yeah, I don't see how a Luka-led offense who has let alone a big man. DeAndre Ayton's gonna be putting up points. He's gonna be scoring. The defense might be a little questionable, but it's the regular season. Um, they got the guys. They got Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia on the offseason. Everyone's getting a year older. Austin Reeves gets a year better. I think it's contract year. I'm not too sure, but a contract year. Austin Reeves. He played amazing as a third option. They're gonna get LeBron back eventually. LeBron, despite being 40, is still gonna be. I won't say LeBron, but he's gonna be a pretty good player. Luca has done a lot better with worse. So I just can't see them being any lower than I can't see them being lower than like a 6 seed if they stay healthy, to be honest. A Luka-led offense. This will kind of foreshadow. This is foreshadowing, but the Lakers are the 3 seed. The Rockets I have as a 4 seed. The Rockets are gonna be pretty good. Um, I think they would be higher if Fred VanVleet didn't get hurt. They're gonna be having to run a lot of bigger lineups, which is could be good, but can also be bad. The 3-point shooting might be a little questionable on the team, but that's no question for how skilled, talented, lengthy they are. Reed Shepherd is on a pace for a breakout. He's a starting point guard on a higher team in the league. They added Kevin Durant. They still have Amen Thompson, Sengun. Um, the bench is amazing. They got depth on wing depth for days. They got Dorian Finney-Smith, Tardy Eason, Jabari Smith Jr. I think he's gonna be starting. And then they got possibly the best center rotation, not like, but like depth wise. They got Sengun, Steven Adams, Clint Capella, just to like if someone gets tired, you just sub in one of the bigger guys. They can run really big. They can run really small. Not really small. They can run small ball that would be really dangerous. I like the way the outlook is. I just wish Fred VanVleet wasn't out for the year. He's a good floor spacer. He's a good facilitator. It seems like they might need him. They might now. They're like kind of relying on Reed Shepherd to step up and be that guy that he could have been. But he's a high draft pick. Maybe sitting out a year. Maybe it's like the NFL. You sit out a year. Hopefully, you gives you more experience and gets you better. But who knows? Yeah, I think they're coached really well. They're gonna be a top 3 defense. They're too long, too lengthy. They got probably the best perimeter defender in the league in Amen Thompson. Yeah, I like their team. I think they have I predicted them 53 wins. I predicted the Lakers 54. It's all really close. This is all relative kind of, but yeah, I really like the Rockets for the season. They could be a really threatening team in the playoffs. Now they have Kevin Durant too, who can honestly the half court offense is gonna be a lot better than it was last year, which is kind of the reason they lost against the Warriors. But yeah, they lost Dylan Brooks, they lost Jalen Green. They got in a whole bunch of new pieces. It's tough to predict, but we'll see how it is after pretty much a couple weeks in the season. Let alone I'll stay healthy. Like I said before in the other episode, I don't know if you guys didn't have to watch that, but yeah, the this is all based on like potential. Injuries can happen to any team, and they can't control it, and that is not gonna it's not gonna hinder my thought because I'm just predicting them all to be almost healthy, what they would be if stayed healthy. But I'm not gonna hinder them for having players who are more likely to get injured. Number 5, I have the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are gonna be solid. They for the last 3 years, they always have been. Their defense has been solid. Anthony Edwards is he's not due for a breakout. He's already up there as a top player in the game, but in terms of like public outlook and how he's going to be scoring, I think he's going to take a jump in terms of statistical you, statistical jump. He's going to take a statistical jump in terms of like his scoring numbers are probably going to go up. His efficiency numbers are going to go up. He's becoming a better 3-point shooter each and every year. That's true development. That's raw talent, to be honest. He came in, can't shoot, developed his game, developed his 3-point shot, still remain had the athleticism, still a good defender. He's pushing territories of a top 10 player. He probably already is if we really think about it and dissect it, but I think he's gonna take a jump. Maybe I can't say all NBA first team because Luka and Shea are at this point locks. But yeah, definitely if an injury goes one way, he can definitely make all NBA first. Did he make it last year? Oh my, I don't even remember if he made all NBA first team last year. Who made all NBA? It was Shea. Forgive me. I don't remember who made all NBA first team last year. I know he's never made in his career, but he made all NBA second team. The last 2 years he made all NBA second team. I just need to find out who made all NBA first team. Donovan Mitchell? Oh my god, Donovan Mitchell did, yeah. Wow. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell made it. That's a surprise. I thought Anthony Edwards would have made it, but hey, who cares? Um, congrats to Donovan Mitchell for making all NBA first team. The Timberwolves, yeah, I think their defense is really good. Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert getting a year older, Julius Randle, Mike Conley. Maybe the bench shows up, maybe a guy from the bench. Rob Dillingham they traded for him. He was a top end pick from 2024. Maybe he pans out. Dante DiVincenzo, he's gonna play his role. There's not no question about that. Yeah, the Timberwolves, there's not much to say. I feel like they have been this good the last couple years, even with the roster turnover from last year. They lost Cat and they got Julius Randle. The first half of the year didn't look too good. They still turned it on the second half of the season and ended up being the 6th seed. They also lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but that's a loss. I don't think it'll be that big of a loss in terms of where they fall off. I actually predicted them going to 50-32, which is I think a game better than last year. Number 6, I have the Dallas Mavericks. I am familiar with their game. I know how they do it every year. Jason Kidd has done this every year he's been coaching. He is going to start the year slow. It's a new roster. A play Cooper Flag, the number 1 overall pick. He has to obviously marinate into the league and become who he is. He can't just start game 1, be the guy who we expect him to be. There's obviously growth and development, but I think the roster is really, really good. Like potential to be like a top 2 seed good. There's obviously tiers in terms of teams when fully healthy, which they won't be fully healthy until like late February, late January, early February. Kyrie has Achilles, no ACL. Yeah, Kyrie has his ACL. So he has to recover from that. Obviously, will we have the same Kyrie? We don't know until we actually see. Hopefully, he is who he actually was before he got hurt. We kind of do need him. We need guard depth, but D'Lo's a guy to start probably. Cooper Flag has been taking point guard runs in preseason. It's looked pretty well. Cooper Flag does look like he'll be one of those guys. He's long, lengthy. He can put the ball on the floor. I think Cooper Flag is obviously the number 1 pick. He's projected to be the next guy of the franchise. So hopefully it turns out. I'm not like crazy. Like I'm realistic with it. He's not going to be like a tier 1 player in the first year of his career. He obviously has to develop. He's 18. We're the same. Or he's 19. We're the same age. Me and Cooper Flag are the same age, which is actually crazy. This is the first year where I could have been drafted in the NBA. Wow. I'm getting up there. But yeah, he has to develop. You can't expect him to be you can't expect him, put expectations for him to be that guy. So that's why I think the Mavericks will be the 6th seed. I think the Mavericks will do what they always do, what they had Luka. They will turn it on in the second half of the year. That's just how it is. They get that stride. They hit the stride of Oh, the Mavericks also I'm gonna predict them to be the best defense in the league. Despite despite the offensive struggles they might have early in the season, I just think the defense is gonna be too good. They're too lengthy. They can run out probably the best defensive lineup in the league, despite like the Thunder. Those two I think will be competing for it, but I don't see how they're not. They have extreme length, they have extreme size, they have great defenders all over the court, perimeter and interior. They probably have the best interior defense. They got long guys. Them, the Rockets are pretty long themselves. Like pause. Yeah, but I'm excited for the season. Hopefully, we have some guys who break out like Najee Marshall. I'm always been a fan of Max Christie. He had his moments last year after he got traded to us. Ryan Nemhard has been balling on the preseason. He's an undrafted rookie. Hopefully, he can be like our ball handler for the future, facilitator. His brother did it, so maybe he runs the family. The center rotation, beautiful. I love it. Small ball can be really good. Dwight Powell. I'm just laughing because we are talking about Dwight Powell yesterday, but get him off the team. We don't need him. But yeah, so Mavericks, I got the 6th seed. I have them winning 48 games, but I have them being more of a second half team. So if they start off slow, just know I called it, or we know the game by now. The 7th seed, the oldest. No, oh, I think the oldest team in the league, Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers are going all in on players over 35, over 30. 30. Bradley Beal is not 35. Chris Paul, they got him in the offseason. They got Brook Lopez. They got Bradley Beal. They traded for John Collins. Good pickup. That's a lob threat for James Harden. James Harden's going to feast this year. He's going to have Zubac and John Collins, Kawhi Leonard. It's a pretty good starting lineup. That's an elite starting lineup. I think the Clippers will be really, really good. Like I said, we're not talking about injuries, so yes, it can all crumble in the snap of a finger. You have Kawhi Leonard, who has been hurt almost every year. Chris Paul, Bradley Beal. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Bradley Beal, I think will have not a resurgence because he'll never be back to what he was in Washington where he was stat padding, but I think he'll have a resurgence of like, oh yeah, he actually is still a good player. He just wasn't in the right situation. Because obviously now his role is a lot easier for him. He doesn't have to do everything he does. Hopefully his ego lets him actually play a role that actually fits what the Clippers need. The Clippers, I think, will be really good. I have them at 7, but I think they'd be really high if this West wasn't so good for me, in my opinion. The Clippers have potential to not because I know they're all old, but they still have the talent. They're old, but they still have the talent. James Harden proved himself. He was an All-NBA player last year. Kawhi Leonard is still one of the better players in the game when he's healthy. John Collins is a great pickup. Their bench depth is really, really good. Brook Lopez off the bench is really good. Chris Dunn, Chris Paul. I got the Chris's. I like it. Bogdanovich, I think he might start. I don't know if that was true. Batum, they got length, they got shooters, they got everything you can really ask for in a team. I honestly predict them to beat the Nuggets last year in the playoffs. They went to Game 7, and James Harden did what he always does in Game 7. Can't really expect that, but they looked really good. I honestly had them as a sleeper for last year. I think if I remember, I had them going to the. No, they would have lost to the Thunder. Yeah, I mean, I don't lose to the Thunder, but I had them going to the second round. But yeah, I think the Clippers could be really good. They have all the facilities to be really good. I hope they can put it together. I hope they stay healthy. It'd be a really fun team to watch. And I hope, if the Clippers win a championship, that would be the best thing in the world because imagine the Clippers winning a championship after they they got caught for laundering money, bro. That'd be like, wow, that would be a story. But hey, the NBA is not gonna do anything about it, so just let it be. 8th seed, probably the biggest surprise, probably the biggest jump from last year. It's a prediction. It's not 100% accurate. I have the San Antonio Spurs. I think these 8 through 10 will all be really close. I think we'll have the crazy Wemby jump because he did miss the second half of the year. Right after they traded for De'Aaron Fox. They drafted Dylan Harper, the second overall pick. I don't know how these good teams keep getting the second and first overall pick. I'm not complaining. We got Cooper Flag, but the Spurs got the second pick, and that's actually ridiculous. The 76ers got the third pick. Like these teams who tank their whole season just to get like the fourth, fifth, and sixth pick, I would end it. But hey, I'm not in a position, so I can't complain about it. The Spurs, I think Wemby, we all know who Wemby is. He's generational talent. He's put it together. He's the best defensive player on the planet. If you guys don't know, I'm doing awards later. You don't even have to ask about defensive player of the year. If Wemby stays healthy, he's gonna win it. I think that might be the case for every year. He would have won it last year if he stayed healthy. So I don't see a world where the best protector in the probably ever. Like he's on pace to be the best rim protector ever. His length, his IQ of the his rim deterrence, where he just gets people to not take the shots they want to take because they know he's there. I think it's second to nobody. Maybe like those guys in the 70s when they're playing me and my dad out there on the court. Yes, they could block shots from like a 5'6" guard, but I think Wemby is playing in the toughest era of the NBA, and he is still averaging like 3.5 blocks a game. It's it's ridiculous. And as long as he stays healthy, he will be in like the face of the future, or the future of the league. The team is better. De'Aaron Fox. They drafted Dylan Harper, their guard, Stephon Castle, rookie of the year. They have Devin Vassell. They got good depth. They got Luke Cornett to be a backup center for Wemby. So like when it comes to Wemby getting off the court, it doesn't collapse completely. I really like their team. Harrison Barnes is still on the team. I really like how much they've surrounded Wemby with good guards. Guards who can put the ball on the floor. I think they'll be the surprise team of the year. I have them as an 8 seed, which is like, yeah, obviously like in past, 8 seed wasn't good. But I'm also predicting, which I've been predicted every year, the best Western Conference that we've seen. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs went out and showed us that they are a top six type of team. Injuries could happen. They could bump up. They can have a run. Barring injury, I really believe in the Spurs. When it comes to my next team, I'm gonna toss up between these two because I know how good one team could be when they actually have it going. I know how bad they can be when they don't. And I have one team who will also be a surprise of the year. So I'm just gonna speak with them in like the 9-10. Both of them, they're available to switch. I have the Warriors and the Pelicans. The Warriors, we know their talent. We know who they have. We know they're the oldest starting lineup in the league. We know they have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond. That team, those three, the core players on anyone's team when they're gonna be good. I'm a little concerned about their depth. We saw last year they started off hot. They won an extreme cold streak. They got Jimmy. They brought it back. Will that team be the same team with Jimmy the whole season? Who knows? We just have to see. I just don't. I don't like putting all my chips in on a team that is like the starting lineup is average age is like 35 plus. There are four best guys that are 35 plus. I don't know about that one. There's always room for fall off. There's always room for being not as good as you were the year before. Steph Curry, I don't have any concerns about that. But like Jimmy Butler, we'll never know. Will he be able to get to the rim like he was or he used to? Will he be the same defender that he used to? We'll never know. Draymond, will he be the same facilitator? Probably. Draymond's probably going to be the same guy he is till he retires. Al Horford, he looked a lot worse last year. Maybe this Warrior system can revive him, but he's 39. I don't know about getting revived at 39. I've never heard of that. Maybe their young guys can step up. Kaminga is probably gonna get traded at the deadline, to be honest with you. He only signed that deal to get traded. That's really what it is, if we're being realistic. B pods, we'll gotta see. Buddy Hield. It's like they got inconsistent guys. They got guys who can turn up on any night. The 9th seed, I have them winning 46 games. It's not I had the Spurs winning 47. It's not like it's a big gap. It's not like it's crazy. I can't see them being a top 6 seed, but you'll never know. They the way they looked at the end of the last season, they definitely could have been. Who knows? I think more likely that the Warriors come out above the Pelicans. So I'm probably gonna have the Warriors 9, Pelicans 10. But I really don't know. Like barring injury, the Warriors can be really good. But I just will have to see. They'll have to prove us. They play an opening night, so I predict they're gonna win that game. But that's not the point. One game's it's a 82 game season. So then we have the Pelicans. The Pelicans, I think, are bound for a breakout, which is it's crazy to think because they just won like 15 or 20 games. But last year they were, if I'm not mistaken, they probably were the most injury riddled team. So I think that's bound to change. I think they have the guys to do what they can break out. 2 years ago they were on the verge of winning 50 games, and they were the A seed for doing that. It's a tough league. They got to win. They got to be dominant. Last year they got Dejounte Murray got hurt in like the first 2 months, out for the season. He's probably gonna miss a good part of this season too. But when he comes back, things could change. They traded up for a rookie, Derek Queen. They drafted Jeremiah Fears. They got reliance on rookies. Who knows what they'll be? I can't really predict rookies because anything could happen. I think them trading up and trading a first for him, they obviously believe in him. He's a center. He's probably be pretty good next to Zion. He's a center who can put the ball on the floor. Pretty sure. I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna assume. That's what I've been told. Jordan Poole, they signed him. I really like Trey Murphy. I think Trey Murphy, I don't know if he's gonna win most improved because he already broke out last year, but I think he's gonna take that jump, in my opinion. I guess we'll never know until we actually see it. But I think he'll be one of those guys who like I can't say he's underrated because a lot of people know him, but he'll be one of those underrated guys of like, oh, his name's not that crazy, but he is actually that good. Herb Jones, I wanted on the Mavericks for years until we lost Luca. But I think Herb Jones one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. They have him. He can shoot. It's not. I think their starting lineup can be really, really good when fully healthy. Like Dejounte Murray, Jordan Poole can switch in between the one. You got Dejounte Murray off an Achilles though. It's tough. We'll never know what he'll actually be until we actually see him. Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, the perfect wing duo. Zion. Zion looks. I've been buying up Zion hype since 2020, since 2019, since he got drafted, since his first game against the Spurs. I think that Zion might actually put it all together this year. And if he does, sky's the limit. They can win 50 games if Zion puts it together and stays healthy. I think their team is bound for a good year. They're due, honestly. Like last year was kind of a down year off all the injuries. They were obviously well coached. They won 50 games the year before. I really like their team. I'm not like it's tough because I can't predict any of these guys to be above the 16. But Pelicans and Warriors, I have them 9-10. Honestly, switchable. I think the top 10 of the West, I genuinely can't think of a better top 10 of all time. Like in terms of like the teams that are good when healthy. Like if we're being realistic, one of these teams is bound to get killed with injuries, and then we could have never predicted that. It happens every year. So I don't want to be the one to like burst the bubble, but my prediction is not going to be 100% accurate because I can't predict injuries. No one can. No one should. But it is what it is. I think the Pelicans honestly have a good chance to break out and be the team of the year. But I have Pelicans, Spurs, two surprise teams of the year in terms of the fact that they were just picking in the lottery. So yeah, if we use context, that we all know when we got hurt. So I guess, but I think the Pelicans and the Spurs and the Warriors are the 8, 9, 10. You can honestly interchange either one because they all have different levels of why I think they'll be where they are. Spurs got their 1A guy, the tier 1 guy. The Warriors have their 1A guy, but they're older. Spurs are younger. The Pelicans have, I think, a great roster. They just need that guy to turn it, like the guys to turn it on and actually start clicking and stay healthy. So then we can go into like the lower half of the teams. It's tough to say because they're so young, but the 11th seed, I got the Blazers. They really turned it on last year. They're young, they play good defense. They got Drew Holiday. I don't know if he's gonna be a midseason ship off or he's gonna actually be there to develop the young guys. But I think that they have something to prove. They're well coached. Chauncey Billups really turned it on last year in terms of the defense side of the ball. Hopefully their offensive side gets better. Maybe they'll be one of those teams who aren't that good as expected. I feel like the Blazers could be like really, really mid. And one of those teams is like, oh yeah, like you can't come in and expect to beat us, but you can't come in and expect to like and not expect to at least be favored. Like they're in like the mid island of this of the NBA, which is someplace you don't want to be. You don't get high draft picks, and you also don't compete for playoff spots. I have them just at the 11th seed, but yeah, it's not looking too good. I have them winning 38 games. Spurs 40, 47, Pelicans 45, Warriors 46. I could honestly put those all at the same, and I wouldn't be like complaining about it. The 12th seed, this team is they made the playoffs last year barely. They're starting the season off already killed with injuries. It's the Memphis Grizzlies. They fired their coach last year. Their new coach is the interim from last year. I can't say his name. John Morant's going to the season hurt. Jaren Jackson going to the season hurt. Zach Edey's going to the season hurt. Who else do they got? They got Ty Jerome from the offseason pickup. They traded Desmond Bain. They have KCP. This team is going to be really bad to start the season, especially the fact that they don't have their guys. Their guys they paid a lot of money for. When they come back, maybe they can weather the storm, but I don't see them. I don't see them making the top 10 seed, especially with how good the top 10 seeds are. If especially they're I can't predict injuries, but I'm not predicting that they're already going to the season hurt. It's a tough thing because the Grizzlies are supposed to be competitive. They got John Morant, Jaren Jackson. They were the 2 seed eventually, like 2 years ago. And the fall off from then, 3 years ago. They're 2023. Wow, 2023 was 2 years, 3 years ago. My goodness. But yeah, I think the Grizzlies are gonna be the 12 seed, maybe 11. Maybe they're not gonna be in the 10 seed, so it doesn't really matter. Let me pick it high, maybe. Who knows? I don't think they'll be as bad as the teams below them. The teams below them I have in either are really mid or just like not good at all. So the Kings, I made this list before Russell Westbrook got signed, but is that really a difference maker? They're still going to be mid. They're still probably going to trade their entire team at the deadline. DeMar DeRozan, Zach Levine probably won't be on the Kings at the end of the season. Who knows? But I'm not too confident in their team. They were really, really mid last year. Their defensive talent, non-existent. Their young guys, non-existent. Everyone's old, trying to make a statement. I think they're playing in Sacramento because it's Los Angeles or like California. I mean, like I I don't know what this team expects is going to happen rolling to the season with Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, like DeMar DeRozan, Zach Levine, the Bulls of the East. Maybe they're playing demons. Maybe they make the plan. They always make the plan eventually, and somehow just to lose the first day. Um, yeah, this team's not good. Sabonis is your wow. Sabonis is your anchor, your rim protector. Keegan Murray's hurt. Start the season. Wow. I don't know what to say. This team, I have them winning 33 games. The Suns, 14 seed. Free Devin Booker. Um, they're not that bad. I think they're just young. I think eventually they'll maybe next year they have that season where maybe they sign someone, maybe they trade for someone, maybe they draft someone. A guy who can actually put it all together. Devin Booker, elite player, we already know. They drafted Kaman Maluak from Duke. Center, good rim protector. That's probably your future center. You traded for Mark Williams. You have a good center rotation. It's just everything else besides like Jalen Green. We don't know what he'll be. Um, Dylan Brooks probably be traded by the midseason. They're four. Wow. Also, a Digahora. I don't know who that is or who they're starting for is, but this team doesn't have much hope. I don't really think they expect to be competitive. I hope they don't. Um, well, I don't even know who their head coach is. Is it? It's not Coach Bud. I know they fired him. Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, Ryan Dunn. Yeah, this team is not having. This doesn't have too much hope. Um, Jordan Ott. Wow, I never heard of this guy, which is actually crazy. Jordan Ott, bro. Yeah, hey, Suns, it's their rebuilding year. They have the pieces, they have the core, but will Devin Booker be there? I mean, for 80 million, would you be on a bad team in your prime? Would you waste your prime years of playing basketball making 80 million? I would. So Devin Booker, I don't blame you, but he's gonna be there for a while losing. And then the last seed, the Utah Jazz. I don't gotta say too much about the Utah Jazz. I think they prefer to go 0 and 82. I mean, they'd go 0 and 82 and they'd still not get the first pick. So I guess Laurie Markkinen will be traded by mid-year. Walker Kessler, he'll probably end up on the Lakers. He's Kevin Love bought out. I don't know why it's Kevin Love's. Ace Bailey, the rookie, he'll probably be one of those guys who put up numbers. He might be in the conversation for rookie of the year. Who knows? He can stay healthy. He's already going to the season with knee tendonitis in both of his knees. That's just it's unfortunate. Top 5 pick. But maybe this is their year of development. Laurie Markkinen, he's gonna end up on like the Hornets. He's gonna end up on like the Bulls. He's already on the Bulls now. He's not gonna end up on the Bulls. He'll end up on one of those teams. It'll be one of those teams that are just selling off the deadline, wanting to lose as many games as possible. They have no hope for winning. I think they know that too. Yeah. And then that's the rankings for the West. I think I'll go over it one more time. Yeah, I'll go over it one more time. So first seed Thunder, second seed Nuggets, third seed Lakers, fourth seed Rockets, fifth seed Timberwolves, sixth seed the Mavericks, seventh seed Clippers, eighth seed Spurs, ninth seed Warriors, 10th seed Pelicans, 11th seed Grizzlies or plays Blazers, 12th seed Grizzlies, 13 Kings, 14 Suns, 15 Jazz. And I can be really confident with I'd actually bet my whole life savings that the Jazz end up 15th. But the NBA is weird, so I'm not gonna do that because no one would have predicted what was a crazy thing that happened last year. Um, what is it? Hold on. Let me find out what happened last year. Um, yeah, bro, I don't know what happened last year. I don't even remember last year was such a blur after February 2nd. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna go into the war predictions. Um, it's not 100% accurate. I can't predict injuries, like I said, but I can look at the odds and give my opinion on who I think would be that type of guy. The for MVP, should we start? We should start with MVP. We tried to do that last. For rookie of the year, I'm biased. I don't want it to be anyone else. It's gonna be Cooper Flag. He's a minus 225 to win. He's exposed. He's supposed to be a big part of a playoff team. That alone will get you a rookie of the year. Let alone the fact that you're projected to be probably the best defensive player in the class, and you are going to develop into being a scorer and a point guard. You're going to get those numbers. I don't see it being anyone else. Maybe one of those. Maybe like the guys on one of the worst. Oh, Walter Clayton. Walter Clayton's on the Jazz. I forgot to bring that up. Shout out Walter Clayton, Iona alum. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Good shooter. I don't know. A guy like Cooper Flag, the top 5 for voting odds are Cooper Flag, Trey Johnson, Dylan Harper, Vijay Edcombe, Colin Kneppel. Of these guys, I can see a lot of empty stats being put up, but I can see a lot of guys trying to compete for winning, like Dylan Harper. He can be a really impactful player on a winning team. Cooper Flag, Vijay Edcombe, Trey Johnson, get ready for the empty numbers. Ace Bailey, get ready for the empty numbers. Colin Kneppel, get ready for the empty numbers. Even though he'll be a pretty solid player in NBA, I can pretty much see that. Jeremiah Fears. Jeremiah Fears is tough. But yeah, rookie of the year, Cooper Flag. There's no one else that would be. Defensive player of the year, Wemby. If Wemby gets hurt, must be a tough question if Wemby gets hurt. So everyone I'm about to say is it's tough because for the defensive player of the year, you kind of got to be established. This is pretty much just all last. Chet Holmgren, Evan Mobley, Amen Thompson, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is not a bad one. If healthy, that's not a bad one. I would like that one. The Mavericks I can see being a top defense in the league. Um, Chet Holmgren, the Thunder will probably be the best defense in the league. Evan Mobley, I don't know if he's winning back to back. He's not that. He's not like that. Amen Thompson, it's not bad. I can't really see anyone else. Jaren Jackson, he's not even healthy. Draymond is not running it back. Yep, forgot. Okay, so Wemby and then Chet, I guess. Most improved player. I hate looking at the most improved player odds because it's the stupidest thing ever. What do you mean Amen Thompson's favored to be the most improved player? We already know he's good. He was a top, what, 5 defensive player of the year candidate? What what do you mean most improved? There's players who are sitting on riding benches and are gonna end up putting up numbers. I never understood how they did it from a player who went from good to great when the player was already great. It makes no sense. I don't get it. Andrew Nemhard, it probably should be leading this. We're obviously expecting him to be good. Like his starting point guard is out. He's probably gonna take that role of being the starting point guard. He's probably gonna put up numbers. That's not a bad pick, to be honest. He should be leading. Montas Buzelis, he was a rookie last year. A rookie getting better makes no sense. Like, duh. It makes Wemby last year was the worst. Wemby was favored to be the most improved player. We already just saw one of the best rookie seasons of all time from Wemby. NBA is a little stupid. Wemby's plus 400 to win most improved player. We already know Wemby's a top 10 player in the league. Like, what are we trying to see? Montas Buzelis makes Benedict Mathurin. The Pacers are gonna be the front runners to win because they are pretty much just playing different roles this year. They're expected to be better. Benedict Mathurin, Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's not bad. Josh Giddey turned it up towards the end of last year, but depending on how it'll be, I don't see him winning. Denny Avdia. I don't think people are gonna vote for him for other reasons. Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson, maybe. Asar Thompson was good last year. He wasn't on the level of a man. If he can end up being on the level of men, well, that's like crazy genetics. Like, you just gave birth to twins who are both elite NBA athletes. Shaden Sharp, I thought I said Jokic. Nikola Jovic, Derek White, Brain Pritchard. Did he not just win it last year? No, he won 6-man last year. Oh. Trey Murphy. I like Trey Murphy. I think Trey Murphy is my pick. Trey Murphy, Andrew Nemhard, and Jaden Ivey are my pick. Jaden Ivey is playing a bigger role. He was hurt last year. He's going to be better. Trey Murphy is going to be better because he is going to take a step up in terms of he needs to. I think the Pelicans are going to be a lot better than they were last year, so he will be a big part of that. Brandon Miller is not bad. He was hurt last year, but he did show signs of being a lot better of a basketball player. I like the lower half of the list, in my opinion, is better than the top half of the list in terms of like more chances of it to improve. So my top 3: Trey Murphy, Jaden Ivey, Andrew Nemhard. I would probably pick Trey Murphy, but that's biased. So I'm gonna take Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey, I would bet on Jaden Ivey to be, if he stays healthy, of course. Coach of the year. Front runner is Jamal Mosley of the Magic. That's not a bad pick. The Magic are projected to be pretty good. Quinn Snyder, the Hawks, that's not bad. David Adelman, that's not bad either. We can just rule out who won it last year. It wasn't Dagnall. No, Dagnall won 2 years ago. It was Kenny Atkinson. Yeah, just rule that guy out. He's not winning back to back. Coaches never win back to back. Unless they win 70 games, then he win back to back. This is all record to paste. Who the heck is this guy? I'm so tapped out of basketball that I don't even know who Mitch Johnson is. Spurs coach? Oh wow. I'm saying the Spurs are gonna be a top 8 seed. I don't even know their damn coach. But he was their interim last year, so it's not like he's new. Call me a casual. I do not know who that was. But that's not a bad pick either. The Spurs are really good. They break out. I could see it. A team who was really bad last year that has potential to break out. We already talked about this. The Pelicans, the Spurs. The Pelicans go from picking top 6 to being a top 6 playoff team. We can see it happening. The Lakers, they have a high record in the league. We can see it happening. The Thunder, I think we already know they're gonna be good. They're not gonna win. The Nuggets, I'm not too sure about that. Sorry, excuse me. Let's go to the East. Maybe the Sixers. Sixers, I have them being a top 4 seed. The Celtics, if the Celtics were to be a top 3 seed with all these injuries, I could definitely see that, like, the narrative going that way. I don't think he's already won. I don't think that'd be possible. The Magic and the Hawks, yeah, that's not a bad. Quinn Snyder is not a bad one. I might go with that one. Quinn Snyder. Jamal Mosley's not bad. I'm gonna go with my guy. I'm gonna go with Mitch Johnson. I've never even heard of you, but I'm going with Mitch Johnson. I got the Spurs being that good. So I believe in one B. Clutch player of the year, who cares? Most pointless award ever. They have KD. KD, wow, everyone just plus 1,000. KD, Jalen Brunson, Luca, Anthony Edwards. Jalen Brunson won it last year. Congrats to him. I don't think they're gonna give it to anyone back to back unless he's like that good. Who's on a team who is dependent on one guy? Predicting it's Trae Young. He'll be in a lot of close games. He'll hit a lot of good shots, get a lot of good clutch moments. Trae Young. Trae Young's better than Patrick Beverly. I can go to MVP. MVP is what we're all here for. The odds are pretty much what you expect to be. Shea, Jokic, top 2. Luca, plus 425. Wemby, Giannis, Anthony Edwards, Cade, Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson. Anyone below Kevin Durant's not winning. Unless they have Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's a good one too. I think we're at a point with MVP where the standard is so high. We are never gonna see a player, no disrespect, like Donovan Mitchell ever win MVP again. Donovan Mitchell, unless you play like Shea, unless you have a season like that, it's not happening. The standard is way too high. We're never getting a narrative MVP again. The Cavs, if the Cavs won 73 games, Donovan Mitchell still wouldn't have won MVP, which is crazy because I felt like if you won 70 games, you are pretty much almost guaranteed it. But we are not at that point anymore. Yeah, you have to be putting up statistically dominant seasons, but you also have to be winning. There's levels to this. Jason Tatum, you will never win MVP. I pretty much see it as the guys above Anthony Edwards, maybe Cade. Maybe Cade could be at a level. He could play at a level. I'm not saying he does. He could play at a level statistically. I just don't think his team's going to be good enough. And there's also a winning bias towards it. Anthony Edwards, I could see him definitely taking that step to being an MVP level player. Giannis, Wemby, Luca, Jokic, Shea. I think it's between one of these guys. These top six, if you look at my standings, the only reason Luca hasn't won MVP is because he hasn't had a good enough record. I think this year, I think he's due. Luca, I have the Lakers would be a top 3 seed. Luca becomes a top 3 seed, putting up the numbers that we know he can put up, that he's been putting up his whole career. The narrative's there, the story's there. The narrative does play a part. I said there's gonna be no narrative MVPs. But that's a big factor. Like I'm talking about like I don't want to be disrespectful, like a Derrick Rose MVP. Like he obviously deserved it, but that's a narrative MVP. Russell Westbrook, no, he actually deserved that. But like Kevin Durant leaving and then you averaging a triple double, that played into your story of you winning MVP. Same thing with Luca. You got traded. They called you fat. You go out there and be a top 3 seed and win MVP, like put up the numbers you've always been putting up. I could just see it happening. So being realistic, these top 6, Giannis is too good. You know his team's gonna be bad. He's too good to not be up there. Wemby takes a jump, and his team is a top seed. They're giving it to him. Jokic, well, no, we know, like he'll be the best player in the league. It's almost like the LeBron level of like, yeah, we know you're gonna be the best player in the league. We're just not giving you the award because we already know. And Shea would probably have to do a lot. Shea would have to be on a different level from last year, even though he was on a crazy level last year to win MVP. Or if he relatively stayed the same way and everyone else just didn't do what they're supposed to, he could win it back to back. It's not opposed. He's one of the best players in the league. A dark horse. I told myself I was gonna do a dark horse, but if we're being unrealistic, if we're being like, oh yeah, one of these guys is gonna win it, Joel Embiid is still that good. He's when he's healthy, he's that good. We're not gonna just forget that he came in second place like 4 years in a row. Like, and he would have won it last year or in 2024 if he stayed healthy. But hey, that could be a dark horse if you count it. Wemby, that's not a dark horse. It's a top favorite. Paulo's not bad. Paulo could take a step. Zion could take a step. Jalen Brunson maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Cade is the top 10 projected though. I feel like everyone says like they're dark horse and they'd be like, oh, Anthony Edwards. It's not a dark horse. He's the top. If you're top 10 favorite to be an MVP, you're not a dark horse. You're not expected, but you're not favored. Well, actually, I'm wrong because after Anthony Edwards, it goes from like plus 1,800 to like plus 4,000. It's kind of crazy. But hey, yeah. Dark horse, I'd probably say Zion Williamson. I'm buying the hype. Zion, the Pelicans take a jump. Obviously, it has to be a crazy jump. Paulo sounds better. I think he's in the East. They're probably gonna win more games. They're gonna be a higher seed. They're not gonna be competing every day of their life to just like make the playoffs. I think they'll be comfortably there. That team becomes a first seed. That team wins games. That team, Paulo takes a step, stays healthy. Not opposed to it. And I mean, we've done pretty much every predictions. I think Thunder beat the Rockets opening night, ring night. And then the Warriors beat the Lakers. Lakers are gonna have to. People are gonna say Lakers season's over after game one. That's how it is every year. But hey, we got my fantasy basketball draft, 12-man. We up to the 12-man. I'm coming off a second place finish. Not happy about it, but this year we're back. And we're gonna make a statement. The Freaky Franks will be back. I don't want like the Freaky Frank. I've been Freaky Franks for 10 years or 5 years. I get my pick in an hour before. I'm praying for a top 5 pick, top 6, top 7 maybe. Jokic has been the best fantasy player for the last 5 years. I'm looking for Luka. Luka, I'm thinking is gonna have one of those years. Giannis, Wemby. I would love Wemby. Wow. Anthony Davis and Cade. These are all players I would love. I'm not opposed to either pick because I'm that good. I can draft whatever. But I think we're in for a good year. 12 men makes it for more competitive. We actually got a fantasy punishment this year between the guys because we have some guys who don't try when they're out of it, they stop trying. They kind of just like leave the guys on the bench. They drop whoever they want to drop. They don't even open the app, which none of us in the league did. Like no one likes it because like if you're competitive and it's like you just have a bye week, where's the fun in it? A good competitive league is fun. Like despite like yeah, you'll be 18-2, but like the 2 losses are against the only guys who are trying, and the 18 wins are against like the guys who gave up. But I think we are in for a good year. $50. I am hoping to win again. This in fantasy football would actually feed families. I'm 4-2 in fantasy football. Rashee Rice is coming back too. So can't wait. George Kittle, wow. He's limited at practice. So I picked up Harold Fannin. Even though I already had him, I dropped him. And then David Njoku gets hurt. So I pick him up. And I think I might start Harold Fannin. He plays the Dolphins. Njoku's out. George Kittle's coming back from a hamstring. I don't feel too bad about starting or benching him. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. We're gonna end it here. I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you guys continue to have a great day. Shout out to the Mavericks. You guys are giving me hope. I hope the team's gonna be good. I hope we win a championship. I will be buying a fake Lombardi trophy if they do. Fantasy basketball. Next episode will be reviewing my fantasy basketball team, reviewing the first 2 set of games, the game slate. Outlooks after the first game of everyone's season, and maybe we'll talk about football too. Um, yeah, but probably not. It's NBA season. We're getting back into it. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next Thursday.